Hey everyone, this is Daily from Healing Heart Reiki, and I'm here today with Katrina, who is a friend and a wonderful healer. And we were kind of talking a little bit earlier and in the past about how there's just so many ways that people approach their healing, and healers approach energy work and the energy modalities that are available. And I happen to know that Katrina has created and worked with her own modality that is just sounds so fascinating. I'm realizing I need to get a session with you, Katrina, and check this out. but uh, but I wanted to speak with her today, and I thought you'd like to come along for the ride and learn more about um, working with energy and with the earth. So welcome, Katrina.
Thank you, Daily.
Yeah, so how did you get interested in energy healing to begin with? And what is the business that you actually run?
Okay, yes, the first part of that question is like a whole other ball of
I
wax.
know, I
So,
I know, I'm so bad. Okay, the short version.
so yes, I'm Katrina Matos. My business is GreenSpirit Craft, and I have woven two threads together. So one is the products that I sell, and the other one is a service that I offer. So the product thread is herbal-based, Reiki-infused skincare products.
I know, sounds yummy.
And
I've
then
tried those, they're
oth
amazing.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I have tried your products, they're amazing. Yeah.
Oh, fabulous. All right. And the other, thank you, by the way. The other thread is the nature-inspired distance energy sessions, and I
Mm.
call those Earth Energy Connection.
How did you come up with that name, Earth Energy Connection?
A lot of playing around and thinking about what was the feeling that I wanted to convey. So I want people who are receiving the session to feel really anchored in their local place,
Mm.
their local animals, with the earth and the water and the wind as it exists in their space,
Mm.
while also bringing in healing energy for whatever their personal needs are.
Yeah, I love that. We were talking about how I recently moved, and God, it was like 2 days ago. I was driving home at night with my kid, and an animal crossed the road, and my son was like, "What is that? A lynx?" It looked like this baby cat, but it wasn't a regular kind of cat. It was some other type of wild cat creature that was still a baby, and it was just clear that it wasn't anything we'd ever seen before. So we were both like, whoa. And then we turned the corner because the house was right there. And right as we turned the corner, standing at the gate where I punch in, was this beautiful deer with antlers in the night, just standing regal above the car, looking at us both. And we were both like, oh. And so in that moment, I felt like this profound connection to nature. And I was like humbled, and something opened in my system. And for the past few days, I can't stop thinking about like this beautiful animal, these animals, and like how our bodies resonate with that. And we're meant to be a part of nature. So I love what you're talking about with the earth energy connection, because I think that's like some kind of deep healing key, especially for people today who are just so online and Wi-Fi everywhere,
Yes,
kind of thing.
definitely.
So what does it look like when people get one of these sessions? Like, what's the process?
Well, if you're somebody who lives in the Bay Area, I have some plants and animals that I can offer you to start with, as because each person, whatever their session and wherever they are, they're going to choose a plant, an animal, some nature being that they can access in their own neighborhood, right? Something
Mhm.
that they're familiar with. And the energy, I'll connect with the energy of that being and ask them to shape our session.
Mm.
And
Like
so
shamanic.
yes, I guess it is, although I don't have any formal shamanic training.
Hmm.
Um, and then the other thing that's really cool for me, and I think for the person experiencing it, is if it's someplace else in the country, So I've worked with clients in Texas and Michigan and Florida. I'll
Mm,
ask them at their end to go out and pick what nature being they most connect with for their session. And then they'll let me know what it is. And I'll spend some time making my own connection with that nature being
mhm.
and then using that connection for our session. So
Does that like affect people's bodies? Like how, and are like, how does the session work? Is it like on Zoom or what do people do to receive that?
yes. So what I do is I do it through, first I'll do a phone consultation
Mm,
with them,
mhm,
right? So they get a sense of who I am. Uh, uh, I get to ask them what the purpose of their session is. So some people
mhm,
have come to me about making an easier transition into a season, moving into
mm.
winter, for instance.
Oh my
So,
God, seasonal affective disorder. Yeah, that's awesome.
yes,
Okay.
yes, like
Yeah,
adjusting to the cold and the dark.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
had people ask me to help them transition moving from one state to another. So, like if you were going
Mm,
from California to Wisconsin, say, uh,
yeah,
helping that make that energetic shift.
right.
And so we talk about those things in our consult. And then once people go ahead and book and pay for their session, we set up our time. I send them a text.
Mhm,
And before I send them the text, I set up my space, I set up the energy, I start the energy of the connection going. I'll send them a text to say that I'm starting, and they should be in their own space, whatever feels safe or comfortable for them. I've had people do it in their living room, some people are out in a park, whatever makes you
right.
happy. And I will go ahead and start the session. So, what I love about this is they're having their own experience at their end. And as I'm working at my end, I'm creating an audio file of the impressions that I'm receiving.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So when we're done, I will send them a text to say that I have closed out the session. I give them a day or two to integrate that part of the experience for themselves. And then I send them the audio file so they can re experience the energy of the session, receive a tune up of that
Nice.
through a guided meditation, basically listening to my
Yeah, like
voice.
listening back to it, there's always that bump that you get. Yeah. Like, whoo, yeah. Wow. So that, I mean, I'm like literally feeling energy raising just having you talk through the process. So I'm like, ooh, but it does sound really potent. And I think for me, like, I think of my childhood, I never really believed in, like, I was very skeptical of energy work and how effective it could be. And then I had a lot of amazing experiences, that shaped me and changed that. But even up until fairly recently, I'd say within the last 10 years maybe, I still was kind of leery about the power of distance healing, and like thinking, oh, well, you have to be in person to really feel something. I've since been proven wrong. Like I do distance healing and I see amazing things all the time. And this is really a form of distance healing, but I find it fascinating that it's distance healing that's really connected to the spirit of place. So I can't help but wonder how that affects things and like what people feel usually. Like, can you share maybe what people feel after these sessions? And I'm gonna have to try one, but yeah, I would.
Yes,
Is there like a common experience that happens after that you've noticed, or is it different for everyone?
can't say that there's a common experience. Some people fall asleep.
Mm,
Some people have their own very vivid experiences at their end with the first half.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and one person in particular, I just love this story because it was a really low key session for him. I gave it, and he's like, "Okay, thanks, that was nice," and just like went on his way. And then I did a 1 month check in with him, and the day before the 1 month check in was like his electrifying moment, kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
where he had asked me to connect with Coyote, And he said that in the weeks after the session, he was more aware and did feel more
Right.
connected. And something had happened where his cat got lost. The cat
Mhm.
left, and they were really grieving because
Yeah.
it didn't seem like their cat was coming back.
Yeah.
And he was going on a walking meditation, and just really at that point, I think he was kind of in the process of being like, okay, I'm gonna let this go and say goodbye to my cat who I love so much, and just give it up to the universe. And he felt a really powerful experience with the coyote energy at that moment, doing his walking meditation. And
Yeah.
when he came back home, his cat was there.
Oh, that's a happy ending. I was getting nervous.
Right? No, no, all good. So
That's really cool. I think that's how it happens too, right? Like we forget that we are like earthlings. We're earthlings. We're really of the earth, and we create all these constructs and buildings and cars and incense to connect us to fresh air and candles for light. Like, but like really, like our health is in nature and the animals and the trees around us. And I just love, I can see that moment, like him feeling the strong coyote medicine and then realizing her energy and then realizing his cat had was there. Yeah.
it was, yes, very much heartfelt reunion energy.
Yeah.
So,
So what do you love about doing this kind of work, like just on a personal level? I mean, I'm sure you love the experiences with your clients, but yeah, like what keeps you doing it?
but it comes from a very personal experience and need of my own that I feel that other people can resonate with,
Hmm.
which is, how do we, in this place and time, how do we keep refilling our cup and
Hmm.
finding the hopefulness to
Yeah.
move forward and make change that we know needs to be made? How do we deepen our ability to listen and observe to our other than human family about what they need?
Yeah. 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 And then like I feel like with the pandemic of the last few years, I've had this experience of speaking with a lot of people, and they're just going back to their lives and doing work and doing the things that are expected. But there is this, I think, this sense of like, I don't know if it's depression. I don't know if that's the right word, or this sense of somehow disconnection, maybe even like all of that fear disconnected us from nature or from this sense of that we could be nourished by the planet. I don't know. I don't know if you can resonate at all with what I'm saying, but there's been a shift in people in the past few years.
There has. Um, in some ways that might be considered more replenishing and beneficial, and also in that opposite direction that you're talking about. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like so
yeah,
many people, myself included, because of the pandemic, were like, oh, nature, I have returned. But there's been this interesting shift since the pandemic with people coming back into their practices, like their life, living their life. I don't think it matches anymore. Like we need more of the nature somehow, or we can't go back to what was before exactly.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Emptiness
Yeah.
there if we try.
Still um reweaving what our next evolution stage, I guess, is going to be. And yes,
Yeah. So is this like, can anybody have these sessions, like the Earth Energy Connection sessions, or is it really for specific things? Like if people just wanted to try it, if I just wanted to try it, could I do that? Or do I have to have some specific thing in mind that I'm working on in order to have a session?
I think the session would work best with some kind of something, even as simple as, I'm feeling kind of depleted this week and I could
Mm-hmm.
use a little boost, or
Hmm.
something like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, I love this. Is there anything else that you can share? I don't know, that you would like to share with us?
Is there anything else? I love the idea. I've been, playing around thinking about what how this work could help people. And I'm
Mm,
really loving the idea lately of people who that idea of people moving from state to state. Like for instance, the energy work, setting up a session for somebody to say goodbye to their place that they're leaving,
Yeah. Oh,
you
that's so
know?
needed. I see that so much. Yeah.
Yes, yes, to really honor and acknowledge that relationship that is coming to an end and
Yeah.
gathering up your energy. Like you're still going to carry that beautifulness and all those memories. Well, and maybe some of the memories aren't so beautiful, but whatever it is,
Right.
whatever that rich complexity is, to honor it and say goodbye. And then another couple of earth energy connection sessions to start your new place.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think that's really needed. It makes me think of Carlos Castaneda too, and some of his old books. And I think there was a book in there where he talks about these deep anchors that we create into the spirit of place.
Hmm.
And not everybody creates those, but I think if you're living in a place for a long time, you absolutely do. And it's like a root. And just like like if you uproot or transplant like a bush or a tree, the bigger and the longer something's been there, you have to be really gentle. You can't just like scoop it up and plop it somewhere else and say, okay, thrive, peace out. Like there has to be this, I think, this intentionality and making sure that the right nutrients are organized for those transplants to survive where they go, unless they're just like super hardcore weeds. And not all of most of us are not like that. I know, right? So so I what I like in what you're saying, that's actually what I hear. Like the sessions are this wonderful way to like support that energetic transplant so that we can thrive and not just be, you know, a little bit still adjusting, a little bit still stuck, all of that.
Yep.
I love that. Well, thank you for sharing. If anybody listening and watching wants to find you, where can they find you? Do you have a website?
I do. So greenspiritcraft.com. You can also find me on Facebook and LinkedIn. And I'm very excited to say that as of about 2 weeks ago, I'm starting a Pinterest account. So I'll
Oh,
be
fun. I love
active.
Pinterest. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome, Katrina. Thank you. And your
Yeah.
products can be found online on your website, right?
Yes.
And then also, are there any other locations where people can go test them out or try them or look at them or buy them?
Yes, if people are in Sonoma County, you can go to either community market store location. So there's one in Santa Rosa and there's one in Sebastopol and Barla.
Sweet. Nice.
Yay!
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Daly.
Yeah, it's been wonderful having you. We'll talk again soon.
All right, take care.